Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of I Bought a Watch. So today I just want to kick off the episode by taking a step back and starting with a bulk thank you for the support I've been receiving in regards to the channel recently. From people in the comments to other YouTube channels and companies such as Geckota for encouraging me and allowing me to keep producing this kind of content. While we're on the subject of paying thanks, the reason I've mentioned Geckota specifically is because they trusted me and the channel with a review copy of one of their watches, which I did unbox for you in a previous episode. So just a disclaimer, this watch has been sent in and I didn't have to pay for it, but I will have sent it back by the time this video has gone up. I also want to mention that just because I got sent this watch in for review, this won't affect my judgment on the piece. And please do add your own experiences and opinion of this watch in the comments below, because this is all in the interest of educating others who might be interested in the company or in buying this piece specifically. And I must say, if you're in the market for a vintage mechanical chronograph, this W-02 from Geckota is quite the offering. So let's talk a little bit about Geckota. Geckota, according to their website, was formed from the company WatchGecko, after their, quote, customers were, quote, struggling to find watches for a reasonable price. So they set out the mission to create, and I quote, high quality and complex watches for a reasonable price. Now, this sounds suitably buzzwordy and promises what a majority of watch startup brands aim to execute to, let's say, mixed results. But Geckota does mention full control over their design, materials, specifications, marketing, and even dispatch. So let's have a closer look at this piece and see how well they've done. Alright, let's get a bit of a closer look and see what we've got here. As you can see, this watch is quite clearly inspired by the vintage racing chronographs of the mid-1900s and is in the distinct reverse panda colorway, which really helps to enhance this piece's legibility. And although this piece is small, the stark contrast of those subdials at the 3 and 9 o'clock really do stand out and really give this watch a presence on your wrist. And on the topic of sizing, this piece has a diameter of 37mm, a lug-to-lug of 47mm, a lug width of 18mm, and a case thickness of 15mm. But it wears considerably thinner, as 5 of those millimeters are taken up by this domed acrylic crystal, which adds a nice level of distortion around the edge of that dial. Taking a closer look in on this dial, we have the distinct high contrast coloration of a reverse panda dial. Starting with the handset, the watch features sword-styled hour and minute hands, finished to a high polish and both featuring a black and white inlay. The inlay is a nice touch, especially on the normal panda variant of this watch. However, on this reverse panda variant, I feel the black inlay does compromise legibility against that largely black dial. In place of a seconds hand, a needle-styled chronograph hand is affixed, with running seconds instead displayed on a 9 o'clock subdial. At the 3 o'clock, a second subdial shows a 30-minute chronograph timer. Around the dial are applied batten hour indices, which are fixed at hour increments aside from the 3 and 9 o'clock positions, with a double batten indicating the 12 o'clock position. As you can see, I've just set off the main complication of this watch, its mechanical chronograph function, which has sent that needle chronograph hand skating around that 60-second indicator running around the outermost edge of the dial. If you look closely, each second is split to a fifth of a second subdivision, which means this chronograph is accurate to a fifth of a second, which of course is dependent on human reaction time. This, like the rest of the dial, is finished in a high contrast, allowing for incredible legibility. Now, if we just take a second here and wait for the remaining 15 seconds, you will see the instantaneous change on the 30-minute register at the 3 o'clock subdial. There you go. This of course indicates that 1 minute has elapsed. Now if we stop and reset this chronograph, you will see the instantaneous flyback function synonymous with mechanical chronographs. Having a quick look at the side of this watch, we have the 2 chronograph pushers which are unsigned and the signed Geckota G crown at the 3 o'clock position. Looking further around the back, we have the star of the show, the Seagull ST19 hand-wound mechanical chronograph movement. Now, of course, this specific watch movement needs no introduction and has almost become a cult classic for affordable watch collectors, where it is probably most notably used in Seagull's very own 1963. Let's get this chronograph running for you so you can have a look at the cogs whirring in the back of this one. This is by far one of the aspects I most enjoy about this watch. The display caseback allows you to see all the intricate mechanics of this watch at work and really gives you an extra level of appreciation on the engineering that has gone into making this piece work. It does also help that Seagull have decorated this movement. It's not to everyone's taste. I've seen some comments that people think it looks rather toyish. However, personally, I really enjoyed the blue screwed look and think this watch looks gorgeous. Moving on to this watch's strap, the brown vintage leather inspired rally strap is incredibly comfortable, and I can't say I'm that surprised from a company which started off originally producing watch straps. The finishing on the strap is incredibly well done, and my only real complaint would be that the buckle is unsigned and incredibly wobbly. I'm not sure if that's just because this is a review copy. It's really not such a big deal, but I thought I'd mention it anyway, just in case that kind of thing annoys you. Right, let's talk about some of the finishing on the case. So the case is all simply finished in a high polish, and I haven't been able to find a single QC issue with this piece. And that kind of brings me on to the point I want to end on, which is that this is a quote peace of mind watch. But let's get it on the wrist before I go into that. And here it is. As you can see, that 37mm does make the watch look a little small on my wrist. However, that might just be because I'm used to wearing larger watches. Just for reference, my wrist is 7.5 inches, and the small size is very much in keeping with the vintage style. Okay, now back to my point on peace of mind watches. So I know on AliExpress you can pick up the 1963 for a fraction of the price. However, I feel like when you buy a watch from Geckota, unlike on AliExpress, you do get that assured quality control that you simply don't have guaranteed when you buy off AliExpress. But I would be interested to see what your guys' opinions is, so please leave in the comments whether you think paying extra to a company like Geckota is worth the extra cost opposed to taking the risk and buying off AliExpress. Alright, well that does it for this episode. Please remember to like and subscribe, and once again, thank you everyone for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you again in the next episode. Bye!